Lesofeta sila. Bravedeate govela hatias. Brofo soseake tulago brehita kafatia salimomba. Are you there? Are you there? I'm leveraging, I'm still on one word. That word is subdue it. This was part of what they told the original man at the original beginning. Subdue it. Subdue it. So I was going somewhere. There's a lazy attitude, a lazy orientation. There's a lazy mindset. A mindset that is unbiblical. And I'm trying to be mild here. When I say unbiblical, there are stronger words to use. Unbiblical. That feels that the only reason I'm still walking is because I don't have enough yet. It's because I don't have enough yet. When Adam started walking, he had more than enough. So the original reason for walk is not survival. That's not the original reason for walk. Man was created originally as a creature of work, as a creature of labor. We live in a generation that does not even like that word at all. So we don't labor. So in Nigeria, sometimes when people are leaving national service or when they graduate and they are going into the job market, as some people like to call it now, they say, I'm not going into the labor market. God forbid. How are we not going to the labor market? How are we going to the favor market? Hello? Hey. I must do the work of Jesus while yet is day. What must I do? Dear Lord, that song says, what must I do? Harvest is ripe throughout the land. Laborers are few. I need you to know that God is not looking for favorers. Jesus said, pray ye the Lord of the harvest, that he might send laborers into his harvest. In fact, the other day, Paul said, we are laborers together with God. Jesus came in John chapter 5, right? He said, from the beginning, my Father walks. Until now, he is still walking. And you are ashamed to wear a label that the Creator wears. Jesus says, my Father walks till now. And I walk also. And you abhor walk. So let me ask you the question. But Jesus answered them, my Father walketh hitherto, and I walk. So let me ask you the question. What is God working for? Is he looking for salary? Talk to me. Huh? Is he trying to build a mansion? He's trying to earn some money so that he can build a mansion, because Jesus has made a promise to us now. In my Father's house, there are many mansions. If you don't know so, I'd have told you. Then the Father is saying, hey, you are promised them. And the way these people are becoming saved, there's so many of them. When are we ever going to be able to earn enough to get a space for every one of them? Do you think that's why the Father is working? No. If God works, it means that we need a reorientation. We need to understand work afresh. God has no sins to pay for. God has no need, nothing to earn, yet he works. I'm trying to say to you that you were made in the image of God and after the likeness of God. The God, our maker, is a worker God. He made us in his image. We were designed to work. I don't mean it in a demeaning way, but I want you to know that we are machines of labor. By that I mean to say that God factored labor into our creation. That is to say, God created us with capacity, innate ability to labor, to work. You are a creature of work. And it is a bastardization of original intent, when we start to teach people that there is a way that, some of you feel like if you have all the money you need in this world now, at 21, then you will never need to work again for the rest of your life. That would be very unfortunate. So let's look at it this way. One of the reasons why God instituted the project that is called work is to give human beings an opportunity to contribute to the flourishing of creation and humanity in particular. Flourishing. Did you hear the word I used? Flourishing. Flourishing. One of the other reasons why God built work into the fabric of our existence is to grant us opportunity for stewardship. 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 We are supposed to steward creation for God. We are supposed to take care of creation for God. Imagine God putting the man in the garden and telling that man, you need to dress this garden, cultivate this garden, work this garden, and keep the garden. What does it mean to cultivate, to work? That means that Adam was supposed to farm on that garden, to till that ground. He said, but if there was no sin, would there have been weeds? Maybe not. I have a pending series in Clarity's Forge, Gems in Genesis. It will make many of you uncomfortable. Because you have a picture of Genesis 1-2 that is not consistent with the text that is in those chapters of your Bible. If God told a man to cultivate the garden, why is he going to be farming the garden? What is there to farm? And remember, this was before sin happened. In fact, do you know that the human being that is the apex of God's creative enterprise at that time, the human being needed the services of the tree of life in order to have immortality. By that I mean physical immortality. In order for man to live and never die physically, he needed to eat of the tree of life. I'm trying to say to you that the world you have imagined would have been our world if sin never happened may not be entirely true. That was why what God made was good, was very good, and was not perfect. Because God left a margin of improvement in the fabric of creation. And he left that margin in order to give you and I opportunity to manifest the creative abilities of God that were imbued upon our spirit. So that when you came into the earth, there will be progression that is made in the overall status of creation because of your contribution to it. First and foremost, in order to showcase the multifaceted creativity of our God, your food and drink is guaranteed. That was not why you walked. The same way that God was not working for food. When God started working, the first day, then he rested. And then the second day, he rested from his labor. There was night and day. And, on the sixth day, God rested from all of his work. That was the rest from creation. After man sinned, God started the work of redemption. And he is still on that work till today. The point is this. When God was working, those 6 days of creation, he was not working for food. At the peak of human fulfillment will be the need to work hard, but no more for food. So when we get there, we teach you that you will need to keep doing what you can do long enough so that you can eventually be able to do what you should do. Because in a fallen world, things are not the way they used to be originally anymore. In a fallen world, you will hear things like, whatsoever your hand finds to do it with all your might. Because some of you are lazy because you are looking for purpose. You say, me, I know that God has called me to be a footballer. God has called me to be. So you are waiting for you are waiting for Arsenal that is waiting for cup. You are like, God has. That's why you are becoming a nuisance. You are becoming a beggar in the community of the saints. Because you are just waiting there. You say, me, God has shown me. I've seen dreams. I've seen vision. I've even had open trances. People have also come to confirm it. My place is in the European League. So you are waiting for the day that somebody will stumble upon you. You have all the fantasies. Can I tell you? Things are not the way they were meant to be. We now live in a broken world. And in a broken world, you are now required to do what you can do until you are able to do what you should do, provided that none is sinful. Legitimate enterprise. Legitimate enterprise. Because sometimes you will need to keep doing what you can do. That might even be how you eventually get into the place where you are finally able to do what you should do. See, that thing you know, this is my calling. This is what God has called me. This is who I am. This is what I'm supposed to do. It is like that across the board. There are people that are supposed to be ministers of the gospel, and there's no doubt about it, that God has called you to be a preacher of the gospel. Yes. But you are giving God a bad name. Because you are begging, putting church members under pressure. Because you don't want to work. You don't want to work. In an internet age where you can do so much just from your phone. From your phone. You can do so much. But you say, ministry. God has called me into ministry. My God shall supply all my needs. That's not how he says it. He says, my God shall supply your needs according to his riches. And he said that because he said, because you supplied my need, God will supply your need. How do you think God will supply their need? It just simply means that God is going to prosper the enterprises of their hands. That's how God supplies their need. I will show you in the Psalms the way that this thing works in the New Testament. No, in the fallen world. But I'm going somewhere first. I'm trying to lay the foundation for gold, for resources, to say to you that the first obligation we have to work, to create, to produce, is not because of sin. So you need to burn it into your spirit that even if sin never happened, you will still be walking. So what changed? What changed after sin is the reason for work. After sin happened, they now said it is in the sweat of your brow that you will eat. It was since sin happened that man now needed to work in order to eat. Before sin happened, man needed to work, but his work was not so that he will qualify to eat. God provided for man before he formed the man. The garden came before the man. Are you with me? They drove him out of that garden after he sinned. But when he had the garden and everything the garden provided, he still had the responsibility to work. The day that God brought the animals to Adam so that Adam could name them, do you think Adam was trying to earn a salary? Hello? Do you think that was it? No. It is what I have said to you. It is the fact that God has decided to give us this sense of participation with him in creation. So God made us creative beings. And so he left a lot of room in creation for us to be able to manifest that creativity, that creative ability that he has given to us. So if God did everything that needed to be done, there would be no room for you to do anything. That was why God made everything good, very good, but not perfect, including man was not made perfect. What would have completed that process for man was going to be the eating of the tree of life. Are you with me? That would have completed the circuit, so that man will now eventually become immortal. And God left that small bit for man to come and actualize, because God wants us to participate with him in his enterprise on the face of the earth. When you become a Christian, part of the thing that happens is that you need to start walking your way gradually to Edenic normalcy. We will not get there completely until we get into the eschaton, but you need to start walking as much as possible back to that place, back to Eden, as it were, to the point where you can now walk, because this is your portion in God. Are you there? If God called you to be a teacher, that will be the primary horn by which we bring glory to his name. This is how you will contribute to human flourishing. I talked to you about human flourishing, that this is one of the reasons why God gave us the opportunity to walk, so that we can contribute not just to the flourishing of creation, but particularly to human flourishing. Imagine a universe, a world where the only means of transport were beasts of burdens, versus a world in which we now live. So now, in 6 hours, you can cross over from Africa into the continent of Europe in 6 hours. This was something that people did for months before. In 12 hours, you can fly from Nigeria to the USA. 12 hours, half a day. Took people 4 months on the high sea. Hello? All that 4 months was just to wait to change from one location to the other. Now there are people, you will walk all day in London. You take a flight, 10:40 p.m. from Heathrow. You will be in Abuja before 7 a.m. You can be in another office by 8:30. You closed from work 5 p.m. last night in London. You are in the office 8 a.m. the next morning in Nigeria. This is a world that has become way more efficient than the world was 200 years ago. It has contributed to the ability of humanity, all things being equal. I mean, anything can be misused. I'm saying that ideally, this is helping us. We flourish better. We have had opportunity now to be more efficient, all right, to be more productive than we previously were. The big question, and we're going to get to it, the big question now is, things have gotten so bad in the church that our world now feels that the church is a dead weight on the train of civilization. How many of you have felt it?